The Phoenix Suns have had a disastrous season and could wind up doing one of the funniest things possible in the draft. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Hey, before we get into this topic, let me give everybody a quick shout out here. We are on the verge of hitting 20,000 subscribers. We really just got this channel really going back in September. We're so appreciative of all of you who have subscribed to the channel, who've been watching our videos and our content. Thank you to all of you out there. If you haven't subscribed yet, help us hit that 20K mark. Hit the subscribe button right now. Joining me is Donnie Freeman. Donnie, well, first of all, 20K. I'm blown away that we are on the cusp of hitting that mark.
Yeah, it's been a really rapid ascent, and it's just so awesome. So for everyone that has been a part of this journey, we really appreciate you guys. Obviously couldn't do it without you, so thank you so much for all of your support.
100%. The Phoenix Suns, an absolute disaster this season. You see what's happened with them. 29-33 on the season. They won their last game, but they're 3-7 in their last 10. They're 2.5 games behind the Dallas Mavericks. Donnie, I look at the Phoenix Suns, and I think they may be having the worst season of anybody, because there's teams that have been, like, you look at the Pelicans, right? The Pelicans are down bad. They've had a rough season, but it's due to injury. They're not really this bad. The 76ers, due to injury, they're not really this bad. I think the Suns, given that they've been not completely healthy, but relatively healthy, have had the worst season in the NBA this year because they can't really point to injuries as the cause of their futility. Do you agree? Do you think the Suns have had the worst season in the NBA?
Yeah, there's a lot there. Just I don't know if you saw the video of like KD snatching his arm back away from Bud the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just bad. Like it's all just bad. So for Phoenix, absolutely. I think that they probably have had the worst season so far.
And now there's tons of Kevin Durant trade rumors swirling. The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Confirmation, right? That he's going to get traded this offseason, basically.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. When you're ripping your arm away from your coach, and I don't know if Coach Bud is even going to stay. We'll see. No. But this Suns team's going to look very different next year. They are miserable. They're playing joyless basketball. I think it says a lot when it takes a devastating injury to an opponent that's right above you in the Dallas Mavericks to suddenly breathe new life into the Suns. Suddenly the Suns are like, oh, the Mavs got hurt. Maybe we can actually make the 10 seed. You've got Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, and it takes an injury, a devastating injury to Kyrie Irving to suddenly give you a shot at making the postseason. That's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, that's the situation they're in right now because they squandered off all their easy games. We're going to look at their strength of schedule in a bit, but they squandered off all their easy games, and they've got a ways to go, but there's just a little bit of a sliver of hope there because Dallas, there's an expected fall off there. But if for whatever reason they keep pace and continue winning, then Phoenix just kind of shut out, which is absolutely unheard of when you go into the season with Kevin Durant and co on this team. It just doesn't make any sense.
And now this throws a trade they made, or a trade that was made involving their picks anyway, over the summer into a crazy situation. We're going to get to that next. First, a quick shout out to our sponsor. That is Prize Picks. Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports. They do a fantastic job there. A lot of fun to play. Use our promo code Bulletin. You get a guaranteed $50 on your first $5 played. The link is in the description down below. We'll make a few picks here. Donnie, I guess let's start here. I always like the little goblin picks that we get. I like, Miles Turner, future Laker, perhaps. 12.5 points. I think he covers that.
5 years running.
You like the way I snuck that in there. Let's go. What about? Oh man, it's always hard to bank on Draymond points.
Yeah,
but Draymond rebounds 4.5. Like that seems like automatic.
Yeah, that one I'd rather take that one.
Yeah, let's go there. And then we'll throw in one more because we got 2 goblin picks there. Those are a little bit easier to get.
I kind of like the Zion there.
The Zion?
Hello? Yeah, he's a couple rows down.
Zion, 35.5 points, rebounds. He was a monster the other night against the Lakers. He cleared that just in points against our Lakers the other night. All right. Yeah. So let's go there. A $10 entry would win you $24 right now. A couple of the easier plays, the Miles Turner, the Draymond Green in that one. So go check them out, guys. Use the link in the description down below and go check out Prize Picks, use that promo code Bulletin so they know that you came from us, and you get that great deal, $50 guaranteed on your first $5 played. All right, let's get into the Suns. You mentioned their strength of schedule. See, this is the problem for the Suns. They have the most difficult remaining strength of schedule, according to Tankathon, in the NBA. So not only do they need to make up ground in a big way, but they're going to have a hard time doing it because of the teams that they're playing coming up. I know the Mavs, their injury situation does give them some new life here in Phoenix. But man, I mean, I'm going to take a look here at their schedule.
Is there anybody else that only has 3 listed easy opponents?
I don't think so.
What is, scroll down the list. What is that?
That's insane.
They've legit played all their easy games. I knew they did, but
they wasted them all.
Wow.
They have one. The easiest. They have one game against the Raptors, one game against the Bulls, one game against the Spurs. That's it. Look at this Suns schedule.
Wow.
Look at it. Here it is. Look at this. Oh my God. Look at this schedule.
That's
Denver,
crazy.
Dallas. That's big. The game against Dallas in Dallas on Sunday. That's big for their playoff push. But then look, Memphis, Houston, Sacramento, Lakers, Toronto, Chicago. Okay, there's 2 easy ones, right? But then Cleveland, Milwaukee, Boston, Minnesota. These are all playoff teams. Houston, Milwaukee, Boston, New York, Golden State, OKC. Oh, maybe OKC's called it a season by that point. They may just say, hey, we're resting. Spurs, and then you finish at Sacramento. And that last game of the season, April 13th, that could matter in the standings if the Suns are actually making a push. I mean, I'm looking at it this way. I think that the Mavs are almost going to have to lose every game from here on out for the Suns to catch them, because the Suns aren't winning most of those games.
Yeah, I was looking at it, and I could maybe say 5 of those games. Like, seriously. Now, that doesn't mean they can't win more. That anything can happen. But I'm looking at it. I wouldn't bet the Suns to win on more than about 5 of those games personally, the way they're playing this year.
So they're not that far back, 2.5 games back of the Mavs, but and they do have a game against the Mavs coming up that would go a long way towards closing that gap. But their schedule is so difficult, it's hard to see very many wins coming up, assuming they're continuing to play the way they've been playing right now. We get 3-7 in their last 10. That's not going to do it. That's not going to make up the ground. And the Mavs have everybody hurt. Like, their entire starting 5, except for Clay, is hurt. All their bigs are, everybody's hurt, right?
Yeah.
But they're still not going to lose every game.
Yeah.
So here's where this gets crazy. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it doesn't seem possible to me for them to try to push. On a side note, do you have the number versus below 500 for them? Because I'm really curious about that. The 500 or about
what their record is?
Yeah, the record versus those opponents.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, because I'm really curious about that. Because really, what it is they've done the unthinkable this year, and they've squandered away all their easy games. In fact, maybe they've won most of their easy games actually.
So against below 500 teams, they are 17-12.
Okay, they're just losing against good teams.
That's not good enough.
That is not good enough. You're right.
Look at the other teams in the West. OKC, oh my God, 28-1 against below 500. The Lakers 20-9. The Nuggets 25-6. 25-5 for the Grizzlies. 16-7 for the Rockets. These are the playoff teams of the West. 17-8 for the Warriors. The Suns 17-12, and then you're 12-21 against above 500.
And they've played 5 overtime games too. Man.
Oh man.
They be going through it over there.
Yeah. That's absolutely brutal. So here's where things get crazy though. And this is where we start getting last summer into play here. So the Rockets and the Nets made a big trade prior to Mikal Bridges being traded to the Knicks. The Nets said the only way we're trading Bridges is if we can actually properly tank and get our own picks back. We can't tank without having our own draft picks. They had traded them away. So what they did is they called up the Rockets and said, hey, Rockets, we've got a bunch of Phoenix picks from the Kevin Durant trade. We've got a Dallas pick from the Kyrie situation. So what if you guys, instead of shorting the future of the Nets, what if you short the future of the Suns? Because we'll tell you this, Rockets, if you don't do this trade, we are not trading Bridges. We're going to go all in. We're going to do everything we can to win this year. And our picks this year and our pick next year that you have are not going to be that good anyway. So you might as well do this trade with us and short the future of the Suns. Now the Nets got their own picks back, but they got their pick back this year in a swap. They get their pick back next year. They gave up the Suns pick this year, the right to swap with it. They gave up the Suns pick in 2027. They gave up the Suns pick in 2029, plus the Mavs pick in 2029, the ability to swap there. So Dallas's future now looks incredibly murky. And it's possible, Donnie, no question, the Rockets got the better assets after this year, right? Mm-hmm. The Brooklyn Nets, this pick this year is supposed to be the big asset that the Brooklyn Nets got back, plus next year's pick. That Phoenix Suns pick in 2027, who knows what that's going to look like, plus the 2 picks in 2029. And this year's pick, it's possible that the Rockets make out in a big, big way, and the Suns pick this year could actually vault ahead of the Brooklyn pick. How crazy would that be if Houston not only gets the better picks for the future, but gets the better pick this year too?
That's brutal. That is,
no one expected insane. The Suns to be this bad.
Yeah, that's insane. Wow. Talk about a fall from grace. That's
right.
That's ridiculous, but it's great for Houston.
Oh yeah.
But look, that's crazy.
It's not what the odds would suggest. The Nets right now, they have a 35% chance of going top 4. The Suns have a 7% chance, and it will become the Rockets. But that's not nothing. It's not out of the question for Houston to wind up with a better pick this year too, even though the Nets are in full tank mode because of how bad the Suns have been. They're going to be a lottery team. And look, they're only a game up on Atlanta. Given their schedule, it would not be impossible for the Hawks to pass the Suns in the standings. It would not be impossible for the Blazers to pass the Suns in the standings either. There's only a game and a half separating them, and the Blazers have been playing better basketball.
Yeah. Also the Nets, they are in a weird spot because I think they're trying to tank, but I don't think they got rid of enough talent. So I don't know how that all looks, but these odds and stuff could change. I'm not expecting Phoenix to win much. So wouldn't that pick just get better?
Yeah, that's just it. The Nets could accidentally win a few games for sure. But I think, Donnie, when I'm looking at this and I see the opportunity to move up, I think it's even just given their schedule, I think it's more likely that the Suns move down and they wind up giving an even better pick to the Houston Rockets. That is what I think. More than them catching up to the Mavs, I think it's more likely the Suns move down and finish the season with a thud and then limp into the summer and trade Kevin Durant.
Yeah, there was a report that they're going to probably look to just retool around Booker again.
Yeah.
Do you think that they have to, just on a side note, maybe consider just tearing it all down?
I don't think they will do that. I think what you do if you're the Suns right now is you turn Kevin Durant into 2 or 3 players that you think really fit alongside Devin Booker. So guys who are going to do everything but score, guys who are going to rebound, guys who are going to defend, are going to do all the dirty work. You turn them into 2 or 3 guys that do that stuff for you. Maybe one of those guys can be somebody who can put the ball in the basket and just try to get the best fits alongside Booker and then give that a go. And if that doesn't work, then maybe Devin Booker hits a point where he says, you know what, I want out. Because I think that's really what it will take. It will take Devin Booker saying, you know what, trade me. And right now, it doesn't seem like he's anywhere close. Everything has been he wants to stay long-term in Phoenix.
Yeah, well, the reason I asked that also was because of Booker and also his age. He's going to be, 29 this year, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna, or maybe he just turned 28, I'm not sure, but either way, he's 28, 29. He's gonna be in a position where he's gonna be too old for them to go through a rebuild, and he will probably also want to just move to a winning situation too, and that may be a bridge they have to cross here in a couple of years. And if you're Phoenix, in a couple years, that Beal contract, assuming he's still there, may be tradable as a 57 expiring. I think that'd be a nice pickup for some team trying to offload. You maybe turn KD into whatever else you get, and you just kind of go from there. Just projecting forward, I think their books could be relatively clean by the time they're ready to trade Booker a couple years from now, assuming he waits that long to ask. But just retooling now, trading KD, maybe getting some younger assets. Are they able to really get much there? Katie's on a 1-year deal. He may be able to steer his destination. They'd be retooling around Booker, Beal. I don't.
I mean, Minnesota is rumored to be interested.
Yeah.
If it's McDaniels and Randall for KD,
I mean, that would okay, I could see it. I wouldn't hate it.
right? I mean,
You'd
and
have to
again,
get like maybe some picks back, but
yeah, draft capital and everything. But if you
Yeah.
turn KD into two guys, let's say, that are pretty good, you know, maybe there's something there.
I wouldn't
McDaniels
hate
in
that for
particular would be
Minnesota
a great
either,
fit.
to be honest.
Yeah, right. Minnesota would be able to say, "Hey, Ant, we got you, KD. Let's go."
Yeah.
How crazy would it be if Bradley Beal is the last man standing in Phoenix?
It's certainly possible, right?
Right?
Because they're gonna trade one now. I mean, there's a possibility at some point Book wants out, but it's possible. There's a couple years left. I wonder if Beal will ever just like say, you know what, just trade me somewhere else.
I mean, he apparently really likes it in Phoenix, and he's got a no trade. He can be there as long as he wants, up until 2027, if he wants to be. I'll say this though, Donnie. As much as we're, kind of going through how bad it's been for Phoenix, they have the potential, I think, to turn this around very quickly. Devin Booker is a very talented player. I think they've got some pieces here that are good. I do like Grayson Allen, players like that. They'll lose Tyus Jones this summer, most likely. But I
you
do
mean next year? I thought you meant like right now.
Oh no. They're not. This season is done, I think, for Phoenix. I don't look. The math says they're not that far out. The talent on the team says they could make a push after the Mavs. The Mavs should lose a bunch of games, but I look at the teams the Suns are playing, and I'm like, they're not going to do it.
It just doesn't.
They're not going to beat those teams this summer, though. I think they could retool things and be back in the mix fairly quickly.
Yeah, but also you have to consider you're going to be in the West. So what are you satisfied with? Are you satisfied with a middle of the road team? Are you going to just try to go either way? I'm not really sure. And then also there's the Ishbia piece. Did he learn some patience from this experience, or is he going to try to hard sell KD for another superstar back and try to just keep this thing going? Like, I don't, what's happening here? I mean, a lot of questions.
Oh, I hadn't thought of. Don't do that, Phoenix. That would, if you turn Kevin Durant into another disgruntled aging star. I'm trying to think of who that would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you turned like Kevin Durant into Paul George or something like that, like
wouldn't
that would be the nightmare scenario for Phoenix. For Phoenix.
At that point, I'm not even trading Kevin Durant.
Right?
I'm not even doing it.
Oh my God. Well, everybody, let us know your thoughts on the Suns, the season they've had, and what you think is going to happen with this draft pick situation. Really interesting. The Rockets could wind up being the big time winner in that draft pick swap that changed the future of the Brooklyn Nets. But it's not out of the question for the Nets actually get the worst pick this year, which was not the expectation when they made that trade. Give us your thoughts on the situation in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe right here to the channel. Until next time, everybody. See ya and stay safe.